Coach, I mean, as far as today goes, how do you? I know you talked about approaching things different and all, but as far as today goes with the team, trying to just get them to focus on today.
We're just going to have a really good practice. I think that's big key. Is we'll come out here today and we're going to get after it. We got about an hour and a half practice scheduled. Should be fairly high intensity. We're going to do a lot of live reads, a lot of base running, live defense, live swings, and it's going to be intense, short but intense, and we're going to get after it and try to get better.
I know you said yesterday, talking about the team as far as, you know, staying focused and all that, but do you try at all to talk about or look back at maybe some things you could have done different in the last month? I know you talked about that yesterday. You know, is there anything where you look at it and say, well, maybe I should have done this different during the course of the year?
Yeah, I always do that. I mean, I've done that the whole time I've been a head coach. I think that, you know, the buck stops with me. So, I mean, I'm accountable for everything, and I always look at it, you know, with me first as far as when things are going well, how do I need to keep them playing well? And when things are not going well, what do I need to do to get them back to playing their best baseball? And certainly the second half of this season, I haven't come up with the answer. So that's certainly on me. I think if you need to ask the players that question. You know, I would think that, you know, maybe they could give you some insight on that as well. I think that my approach has been the second half of the year is to try to point out the things that we've done really well, to try to keep them positive and keep them in good spirits. I think that's the best approach. I've tried my best to make sure that they move on after tough losses, and we've had a number of tough losses. But you know, for whatever reason, you know, I haven't done a good enough job. So it always starts with me, and I understand that. So you always look at things. What could I have done better? What could I have done differently? From a personnel standpoint, from a practice standpoint, from a message standpoint, all those things. So yeah, it always starts with me and ends with me. So you know, I certainly take on a lot of the responsibility when it comes to, you know, when we're struggling. And they deserve the credit when we're having success. So they're the ones that have to play. You know, they're the ones that have to execute, and it's my job to try to make sure that we put them in a position to be successful. So hope that answers your question.
Coach, is there anybody not available out of the bullpen tomorrow? Maybe Spires throwing a lot of pitches yesterday.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously, you know, Spires is probably going to be a question mark for tomorrow. I think he threw 50. I haven't looked at the pitch count numbers, but he had to be in the 50s. I think Weatherly had to be in the 50s. So those two guys, you know, I would say right now probably would not be available. Certainly they'll play catch today and see how they feel, but you know, it would be tough to say that I would put those two guys out there tomorrow. We do have Clark, we do have Hennessy, we do have Sharp, you know, who could pitch probably a limited amount of pitches, just because he was our last starter on Saturday. So Owen would be available, Holt would be available, Keyshawn would be available, Summerfeld would be available, Lindley will be available. And I'm sure I'm missing somebody, Crawford. So we've got arms available, and we'll throw everybody that we have to throw to try to win the game.
Wayne, do you talk to your team about the history? Clemson's only missed a tournament one time in 32 years. Do you talk to them about stuff like that, or do you try to stay away from it, not to put pressure on?
Well, I think it's a fine line. You know, again, you know, I had a pretty energetic speech for them at the beginning of the tournament, and you know, at the end of the day, we've played a whole lot of baseball games this year, and it's up to them at this point to be able to go out there and play. You know, I think the guys know the history of the program. I think they know the expectations of the program. You know, trying to, you know, tell guys, you know, those types of things. I don't know. I don't know if I could say that it's extremely beneficial to them right now. I think the big key is tomorrow, you know, we need to try to find a way to play our best baseball and win a baseball game. So they all know the expectations of the program, the history of the program. We go over those things with them. They're well aware of it. They can see it all over the walls at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. They see it every day when they come into the stadium. They know the expectations and the history, the proud history of this program, and they all respect it very, very much. So they're well aware of it.
Michael Green, you talked about what a big addition he is having back, and then, what he did yesterday at the plate. And, having a guy like him and getting him this experience, and also the way he's improved, now that he's back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a big boost for us. I mean, since we've been able to get him back. Again, losing him and Kier early in the season, certainly hurt us. You look at those two guys, and those are potential 1 and 2 type guys in the top of your order that could set the table for the whole season for the middle of the order. And we haven't had those two guys for a good portion of this year. But having him back has been a huge boost for us. He's a good hitter. He's a strong kid. He's a table setter, and he certainly had another good game for us yesterday, and has played well since he's been back.
Thank you, Coach.